Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vance. So in today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make this beautiful bubu gown. It's actually a very simple tutorial, so let's get right into the tutorial. So this is the one that I actually made, guys. Are you seeing? It's looking so beautiful. So these are the materials I'll be using: a tassel, crepe fabric. I actually bought 2 yards, but I'm not going to exhaust the 2 yards. And this African print, this is 6 yards African print. So I'll go ahead now and set it aside. So I've gone ahead to fold the Ankara fabric into 4. As you can see, I folded it into 4. So what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and rule out my starting line. So this was me rolling out my starting line, guys. I'll go ahead and take my vertical measurement, and my client vertical measurement is her half length, which is 16.5. I'll mark it. Her hip line, which is 26.5, and the full length of her gown is 58, but I added 2 inches to make it 60 inches. So making it 60 inches. So when I'm done, guys, I'll go ahead and use my ruler and just make the lines more visible. So guys, this was me connecting all my lines together just the way you see me doing. So guys, at this point, I'll go ahead and take my neck width. So the neck width I'll be using is 3.5. The neck depth I'll be using for the back is 1 inch. The front neck depth I'll be using is 7.5. So I went ahead to mark all the points, and I'll use my French curve to give it a curve. And then I'm connecting my neck width down to the neck depth of 7.5 inches. So guys, I'll be taking the across back, but I wasn't able to measure her across back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark her shoulder measurement, which is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So I marked it. So for the length of her sleeve, I decided to use 14 inches from the shoulder that I marked 8 inches. I went ahead to mark 14 inches at the tip of the fabric, just the way you see me doing. So from that tip, I'll come down by 1 inch as I've marked. Then to get my sleeve length, my client's sleeve length, I used 12 inches for her sleeve length. So after which, guys, I'll go ahead and cross check what I have across here, and then I'll replace it on the sleeve length there. Then I'll go ahead and use my ruler to connect this point straight down to the 1 inch shoulder slope I came down by. After this, guys, at the sleeve length, that's the 12 inches I came down by, I'm going to go in by 2 inches. So this was me going in by 2 inches. On a normal day, I'm supposed to just divide the hip by 4 and then add about 5 to 4 inches. But because my client is in a big size, and then because of how big the bubu is, I don't have to go through that process. So all I did was to come in by 2 inches, as you're seeing me mark that 2 inches straight down to the full length. That was what I did because I wanted this bubu to have fullness. I don't know if you get. So when I was done, guys, I went ahead to cut my piece. So this was me cutting out the neckline. So I had to go back again to cut the other one. So this, just watch what I was cutting, guys. So guys, this was when I was done cutting. I'll go ahead now to cut out the front neckline. That's this one I'm doing right now. So when I'm done with the front neckline, guys, the next thing I'm going to do, remember that we have a combination around the half length area down to the hip line. So from this half length, guys, what I'm going to do is to get that pattern, I'm going to come down from the hip line. I'm going to come down from the hip line by 2 inches. So this was me now coming down from the hip line by 2 inches. From that 2 inches now, I'm going to connect it straight to the half length. So you will see me demonstrating it right now. I'll connect it straight to the half length. So I'm going to use my ruler to connect it straight from that hip line to the half length. So this part that I'm connecting now, I'm going to cut it off because we no longer need it. So just watch carefully what I'm doing, guys. So I'll go ahead now. This part will be the Ankara. The upper part will be Ankara as the style implies, while the down part will be a plain fabric. So I went ahead to cut it out. So when I'm done cutting, guys, are you seeing? I've cut it out. So we no longer need that part of the Ankara print. So I'll use my chalk to indicate the wrong side and the right side. You know how this Ankara print can be very confusing. So I went ahead to fold my plain fabric, that's my plain crepe, into two, and then I went ahead to place the Ankara on it. That's the part that we cut out, that we are no longer needing, that we are replacing with this crepe. I placed it on the black crepe. So I'm going to, from that tip now, I'm going to add 1/2 inch around this area. So this was me marking a 1/2 inch. This 1/2 inch will serve as the joining allowance to the upper part of the Ankara. The joining allowance of the crepe and the Ankara. That's why I'm adding this 1/2 inch. So you should do the same thing for yours too. So when I was done marking it out, I went ahead to use my ruler to connect all of my points together to make sure that it is straight. So after I was done connecting, guys, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Once, a girl likes you, but you don't know, you don't know. Once, a girl likes you, but you don't know, you don't know. Maybe you knew it was. So this was when I was done cutting. I've gone ahead to set both Ankara and crepe aside. So I've brought in my Ankara crepe so that Ankara fabric, so I can show you how to place the crepe already together. So this is my crepe fabric. So this is what is going to replace the Ankara, as I said initially. So this is it, guys. After which, guys, I'll go ahead from the half length. I'll come down by 1 inch. As you can see, that 1 inch is where I'm going to notch for my pocket. The 1 inch will serve as our pocket. That's where our pocket will start. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut out the facing for the gown. You know, we've not cut out facing, so I'll set this aside to cut out the facing. But before then, I'll go ahead and cut out the pocket. So for the pockets, I'm folding my fabric like this into two first. Then when I'm done folding, I'll go ahead and take the length of the pocket. The length of the pocket I'll be using is 11 inches, while the width of the pocket, that's the shorter part of the pocket, is 8 inches. I'll go ahead and mark the 8 inches, and I'll mark it also here. Then the length of the pocket, I'll be using 11 inches. So I'll mark 11 inches straight up, and then I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this was me cutting it out, guys, and I'll go ahead and open it up. I'll place this on the fabric and also cut out, because we are cutting out 4 pieces of this pocket. So this was me cutting out the 4 pieces of the pocket, just like this. So this is the 4 piece. After which, guys, I'll set this aside and also fold my fabric to cut the facing. So this is the front part first. I'll cut the front facing before I cut the back facing. So I folded the leftover fabric into 2 like this. And then I placed my gown on it. That's our main fabric. I placed it on the facing, and I'll go ahead and cut. So I'm going to lift this gown up and take the length of the facing. So for this side, I'm going to use 3 inches, while for the neck width side, I'm going to use 3.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead now and connect that 3.5 to the 3 inches that I marked. Then I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'll do the same thing for the back. So this is our facing for the front. I'll set it aside and I will do the same thing for the back. I folded the fabric into 2 and then I placed the back on it to cut the facing for the back, and then I went ahead to cut it out. I'll do the same thing by measuring my 3.5 the same way I did, and 3 inches. I'll connect them together and then I will cut out. So what after I was done, guys, I'll set it aside and then I'll open up my back block and place the facing right side facing right side. I'll go ahead and pin it down, pin both edges down so that I can stay put to the fabric. I'll also go ahead and attach my side pocket to the gown. I pinned it down. I'll do the same thing for the other side too. I'll place the pockets and I'll also go ahead and pin it down. Right side facing each other. So after I was done, I'll go ahead and go to my sewing machine to sew it down. So this was it. Set this aside. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. I've gone ahead to sew it all out. Are you seeing? I've sewed the front facing together. I've also sewed the pocket side together too. So this was it. I'm going to go ahead now and set it aside. So this is our back block. I've also gone ahead to sew down my facing and I've ironed it. I've also sewed down my pocket too. I've ironed also. Are you seeing? I've also ironed it out. So basically, I'll go ahead now and introduce our crepe fabric. So this is our crepe fabric now. I'm going to introduce the tassel. So this is the tassel that I'll be using. I'll place one here, one there, and I'll just place it. And I use about 8 to 7 inches for the placement. So when I'm done, guys, I'll use my pins to secure them to the fabric, just the way you see me doing. So this was me pinning down the tassel to the fabric so it will be easy for me to sew down. So after pinning it down, guys, I'll go to my sewing machine to show you how I made it. But before then, I'm going to place this is how I'm going to place it. I'm going to bring my front block and then attach it right side facing right side. That's the middle of the fabric will face the middle of the crepe. I'm going to go ahead just like that and sew it down by 1/2 inch. But I'm going to show you all of this process, how I'm going to sew it down in my sewing machine. So this was when I went to my sewing machine, guys. So I'll show you how I did it. Just watch closely how I was able to do it. So this was me sewing down, guys. Before I sew down, I made sure I remove the pins one after the other, and then I went ahead to sew all of it. Are you seeing, guys? Everything is already coming out so well. So this was it when I was done sewing all of it. So I'm going to place the Ankara fabric on it like this. Sorry, it's slipping out. My machine is quite slippery and the fabric is also slippery, so the whole thing so I'll place the fabric right side facing right sides, and I'll go ahead and pin the middle of this like this. I also pin this part so it will be much easier for me to sew. And I also go ahead and pin this part down too. So when I was done pinning, I'll go ahead and sew it. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. Are you seeing? I'm going to open up this to show you how it looks. I went ahead to notch. You have to notch so that you can easily iron it out. So I notched and then I had to open it up, guys. Oh, see how beautiful it looks. Yeah, it's so fine. So this is it, guys. So I went ahead to place it on my table so that I can place the back part on the front part. So this was me placing the back side of our dress to the front side, right side facing right side. And I'll go and sew it down by 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing for the other shoulder. That as I'm placing this shoulder to shoulder, I'll sew it down by 1/2 inch. I'll also sew this part down by 1/2 inch. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. I've also gone ahead to iron it out. Are you seeing? I've also gone ahead to hem the sleeves too, and I've ironed it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead to my sewing machine to take the shape. So I'm going to flip my fabric to the wrong side, and then I'll go ahead and sew it down by 1 inch. So this was me flipping my fabric to the wrong side. I'll go ahead and sew it down straight to the full length of the gown. So when I'm done sewing, I'll show you. So this was when I was done sewing, guys. Our dress is ready. Our dress is so fine. This is a very easy tutorial. When you follow it step by step, you will know that it's easy. We wore the dress on the mannequin and it's all beautiful. Thank you guys for watching my video to the end. Please do well to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Bye guys.